Okay, so you wrap up your D1 football career, and you graduated with a BA in sports management and marketing. So what was next for you at that point after graduation? Hang up the cleats or join the workforce?
Yeah, that was.
Sorry, not of course. Hang up the cleats and join the workforce, or keep the dream alive.
The dream was always alive, but like I said, after my senior year, I really wasn't focused on the NFL that much. I was focused on the relationship, what's going to be next. What if I don't get picked up or stuff like that? There was no work for me. It was only football. When you're coming from a football family,
right,
there's no working. Like, football is our work, and it wasn't. And I kind of got in like a depression mode, I would say. I went home to Bainbridge for at least 3 weeks, and I was like,
right after graduation.
Right after graduation, I was like, man, I can't do this. This is everybody's doing the same old thing. Waking up, sitting on the porch, seeing cars go by. It wasn't for me. And like working, I applied for jobs and things like that. I got a degree, applying for jobs. Oh, you don't have any work experience and things like that. I'm like, the NCAA promised us, you get a degree, you're going to find a job here.
Right.
And I'm thinking like, man, I got a degree, I can't find a basic job. And it's like, how can I get work experience if you don't hire me in a way?
Right. Just a side note thrown there. I remember 2000. You came out 2009, but
yep.
I graduated 2008. But at that point, we were in like depression. Not depression, but there was a crisis at that time.
Yeah, it was.
I feel you, because I couldn't find a job either after graduation. It didn't make any sense to me, because it's always like, you try to get a job, three years of experience. Well, how am I going to get, just like you said, how am I going to get experience if nobody hires me?
Yeah.
How will I get these 3 years?
Yeah, and it was, I was working at taking care of disability people, like assistant care, and I was also working at Target, unpacking trucks. So I had 2 jobs. I leave one job, go to the next one, just to be, active. Because I didn't want to, After I left Bainbridge, I came back to West Virginia. That's where a lot of people, also get stuck. They leave college, so you get stuck in your college time. You're well known, so everybody kind of looked after you a little bit. So I was there for 2.5 years, working at Target and working as a assistant helper to people with special needs, and leaving one job, going to the next, just to keep active. When I really got back into football, I thought my football career was done.
Right.
I signed on to a arena team, which was in Huntington, but they canceled. They didn't have a season because they weren't able to pay the players. We had a loaded roster, a lot of ex-Marshall players, people from Michigan, Ohio, and but they didn't have the funds to pay these players or play us at the time. So I started playing semi-pro football, and that made football fun for me again. Playing with these guys, I met a lot of friends that I always, I still talk to this day. That just shows me what a team is really about, because there were one game we had 17 players, and this is what I knew I was taken care of in college. When you're out of college, you're by yourself. There's nobody to tell you what to do, tell you to wake up, go to work out. You have to do everything alone.
Right. And
having a game with 17 players, having to play both sides of a game, that really showed me team comes first, everybody else comes second. And like I said, I thank these guys for being able to play, knowing that I had a D1 athlete, and I'm just playing with just regular guys that always had aspiration to go to college and things like that. But it humbled me, to not just, not thinking that everything's on a silver platter,
right?
Because most athletes think that, I don't have to do, I chill, I got my tutors to do my homework and things like that. And it was very humbling moment to basically come back down off your high horse, as they call it. And it was pretty cool. And like I said, we won the national championship. Well, not with this team, West Virginia Crash. That was the first team I played with out of Huntington. Then I went to Charleston and met up with another coach, which close friend of mine. he was basically the reason why I came to Europe.
Okay.
When we get back, and his name is Coach J. Walker, and we traveled 3 hours like every other day just to go to practice.
Oh, wow.
You know, because in Huntington and Parkersburg, West Virginia, is like almost close to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And like we would just drive, you know, chill in the car and drive to practice, drive back, and like just for football.
So 3 hours one way?
Yeah, one way. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 2.5.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to get pulled over by State Patrol or whatever.
Right.
But it was, it was bringing the love back for football and not knowing that I wasn't getting paid. I was getting like $50.
Yeah.
You know, just for gas and things like that. But it just brought me back to actually, you know, loving the game.
Loving the game.
Yeah, getting back into the game basically.
Right,
so,
and that eventually led to you coming over to Europe.
Yeah.
This kickstart in your love for football again.
Yeah, in a way. Like I said, me and Jay had Coach Jay, sorry. We had a conversation one night after one of our last games. We lost that game actually, and he was just saying, "Why do you want, you know, go try CFL or go to Europe?" I was like, "There's no team in Europe." I'm not going to Europe. And it didn't even come to fruition until I spoken with my ex-teammate that had played in Dresden a few years ago because he was in the Army. And he said, "Yeah, they got a nice team out. The people are really cool." I'm like, "I'm not going to Germany." You know about Germany. You know what they taught us about Germany, and that's our mindset. You know, that's what we were taught. And but it eventually I hooked up with the team out of Jacksonville, Florida, Team USA.
Okay.
And we went to Warsaw, Poland, and like I said, that was the first time for me, 27 years, ever leaving the USA. You know, Mexico, Canada, that doesn't count because it's all the same thing.
Right.
But actually, 27 years of not seeing anything new, going to Warsaw was, you know, a big eye opener. It's like, man, these people have it worse than we do. You know, it's just, I mean, not necessarily, but economically.
Right.
And just to see the lifestyle of, you know, Polish people and how they think, but they're very nice. It was a big eye opener for me. I say that just traveling was always a big eye opener because I'm seeing different things every day. So it was pretty cool.
Okay. And so how big was the culture shock in Poland? Because of course after you left Poland, you ended up coming to Germany.
Yeah. Poland was like, yeah, I don't see nobody look like me. But we have, I think we had like, it was a group of us, like eight black guys just walking down the street, and everybody's just like, and we all had the same T-shirt. Everybody's just like looking like, what's going on over there? And they were really cool. They were really nice and things like that. It maybe something different that they haven't seen also. So it may have been a culture shock for them also. But they're very open people. And like I said, coming to Germany, I came after the game. I came to Germany the next day to Bielefeld, and I met these guys with the Bielefeld.
What year was that?
In Bielefeld, Bulldogs.
2012, right? Yeah.
12, October 2012. And I met these guys, and it felt like I know these guys for years. You know, the first thing you want a beer? I'm like, I don't really drink beer. It's like directly after the game, it's like, okay. And it was like, yeah, like I knew these guys for years, and that's how where I knew this was where I want to continue my football career.
Okay, and what was your mindset like when you first came over here? Get film for the CFL, maybe for the NFL, or just happy to be playing? Yeah,
at the time, my cousin, he just got let go from the Washington Redskins, and he went into the player development thing. That's when my brother got picked up by San Diego, and his agent at the time said, go to Germany, get some film, and maybe we can, find something back over here, back in the stateside, or with a practice squad or the CFL, something like that. But I fell in love with Germany.
Yeah.
It was something new. The food was different, of course, and it was just something different. Like for me, I always look for something different. That's why I, left Georgia to go to West Virginia, and I just wanted to try something different, basically. Something that, nobody has in my family can say they has done before.
Right.
And it was just, you know, it was fun, and I'm glad I made that choice, basically.
All right. And you mentioned your brother. How much older? How many years older are you than your brother?
Yeah, 2 years older than my brother.
So y'all played high school football together.
Yeah, we played until I was, you know, my senior year. He was a sophomore. Then basically after I left, he became the big man of the school. And he ended up going to University of Georgia, playing with some great players, and he did a name for himself. You know, he didn't get drafted, but you know, just making it to the NFL. You know, even though, you know, he would tell you that was more my dream than his because he was just playing just to play. He was big enough, but he knew I was really, you know, passionate about it. But still to this day, I'm proud of him. You know, even though he made it out of our immediate family. Right. And like I said, I'm just glad one of us made it. You know, to show the hard work that my mom put it into it.
Right. Know? Yeah. I mean, I would definitely be proud of my big brother, little brother. Doesn't matter.
My big little brother.
Right. It's Daryl, right?
Yep.
His name's Daryl, right?
Yep.
And so while you were over here, you also played Paderborn, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so Paderborn was a little bit special because you got a chance to play together with your brother.
Well, actually, he came over the year before. After we won the championship, the second league championship in 2013, he came over the next year. Yeah. We got a new coach, all this stuff, so we tried to build a whole new team. Right. So I brought my brother over here, Ashton Hall. He played in college with me in Marshall. He just got out of the NFL. He came over with me in 2013, so he's like, forget it, why not come over again? So it's, you know, we had 2 NFL players on our team in Bielefeld, and my brother ended up getting hurt the first game when we played Hamburg Huskies. He tried to block a kick, and the kicker stepped on his hand. Okay. So basically, he was just coming off an injury in Washington, not knowing what he could really do here because, I think 7 months off a groin injury. And like I said, it can take over a year to get off that injury. He came over, first game, broke his hand. So I was like, man, what is this? Then, you know, we end up, you know, going through that season, I think 6 and 6. Then next year, hey, let's do it. Let's run it back, you know, try to do it in Paderborn. But, you know, the things just don't happen the way you want them to happen. But it was a great experience to me to play again with my brother. Right. So that was
right, and that's what I wanted to touch on, just actually, you know, being able to play together with him again. And did you guys live together in Paderborn?
No, I lived in Bielefeld. Okay. Well, actually, we both lived in Bielefeld. He had his own apartment, and, you know, I had my own apartment also. So, like I said, we were together every day, you know, so it was, you know, nothing new. But it was a catching up period because, like, when I left, you know, to go to college, I left my brother and sister. And like I said, that still gives me a little emotional, sorry. I felt like I left them behind, and and I look back and now and like, man, there wasn't, you know, Facebook, and there wasn't MySpace. I mean, it was MySpace, but we didn't have phones and things like that, so I couldn't, you know, really stay in contact with my family that much because I'm 17 years old, 18 years old, trying to live the life, basically, you know. Right. And, that's when I look back on it now. It's like, man, I could have did better. Staying in touch with my immediate family. So, sorry to get a little emotional.
It's all right, man. I can understand this. It's all right. You know, nowadays you don't really think about it that much because you're pretty much always connected to the internet. You can always just write a message or a text message, and, you know, we're not that old, but, you know, in 2000, 2006, 2004, it wasn't really like that. People were sending text messages, but, you know, it just wasn't really that much of the thing at that time. And, you know, social media wasn't, I don't think Facebook came out to like 2004, 2005. And then back then it was only, you could only use it if you went to a college. You had to use like a college email address to sign up for it. So it wasn't even for everybody.
And you had MySpace, but it's quicker, you know, MySpace. But everybody had phone. Hey, you have to call me after 9. I want to use my minutes up.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. Text messages were expensive, and, you know, your phone calls were normally free after 9. Yeah. But nowadays, though, just to touch back on your football here in Germany, nowadays you're with the Minden Wolves, and if I understood correctly from when you told me, they never played a football game. So how did you become drawn to this opportunity?
Well, just to go back a little bit, after Paderborn, me, Zach, Kavanaugh, he's in Berlin now, we decided to go to Hildesheim because, you know, we're in our 30s now, and we still haven't played in the first league. Right. So we lost in Paderborn. Hildesheim moved up. but we were the team to move up. But we just had a few games that didn't work out our way. So we got some calls from the Hildesheim Invaders, which they were in the first league. So they just moved up. So we're like, man, this is our chance to go to the first league, play for a little bit longer on the high level, against the Braunschweig, Dresden, Berlin Rebels, and things like that. And like I said, our clock is ticking. So I went to Hildesheim for 4 years. Great organization. Luckily, they just got their football field back. Like I said, they had some problems with the last sponsor where they tried to demolish the football field. Luckily, they get to keep their football field from now on. And lovely people, and I just felt like it was just a time that they were going in a different direction. They brought a new coach in, Coach Schuhan from the Raiders and Coach Lee. And, they just wanted to go to a new direction. And for me, I wanted to do something new. I wanted to kind of start something on my own. And, getting at that age, I still think I can play in the first league, no problem. But it gets to a point where am I doing this just to be on the team, or I'm actually, doing this for the love of the game.
Right.
And like when I met the guys in Minden, it's like, man, you guys been practicing for a whole year and you guys haven't played again. It's like, I don't know the feeling, because I don't see how you can practice 2 years and still be into it and have 40, 50 guys still at practice, every single practice, and not play a game. And but I just seen it in these guys that they're really wanting to work hard and put a product on the field, because that was the problem of getting youth players, because I'm now the sports director or co-sports director and head coach of the youth team. So these kids don't have anything they can see. So they never had a game in Minden. So these younger kids are like, what is football? You guys have a football team here? We didn't know that. And it's been for the last 2 years. I signed 2020, but like I said, everybody knows Corona happened.
Right.
And that was basically the end of the 2020 season here in Minden also.
Okay.